Let's fight for ping, 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 ping. A very good night to each and every one of you. Let's fight. Let's fight. Ping, 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 ping. Gather around, folks. Let's fight. Let's fight. We got to fight. Wherever you're joining us from this evening, let's fight. We got to fight. Good to see each and every one of you. I'm making my own songs tonight. Ping, 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 ping. Let us know where you're joining us from. I see Kevin Brooks on YouTube and Dean Inglewood. Dean, I haven't seen you for a little while. Good to see you, Kevin Brooks, as well. Polly Ann Shorts is in the ring tonight. Audrey Thorm, good to see you. One of our special folks, Lily McGarrett and Michelle, to get you folks going. So let's fight, let's fight, let's fight, let's fight. Guys, great to see all of you. Getting you guys going there. Mark Alman and Dira Sukraj watching us from Queenstown, Essequibo. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you, folks. And the word for tonight is reparative. The word for tonight is reparative, folks. What is the word for tonight? Reparative. What is the word? Reparative. Reparative is the word. Some people might say reparative. We know some other people can say all kinds of funny things. All kinds of funny things. What is the word tonight, people? What is the word tonight? Good to see each and every one of you. Guys, you know as we come in, whether you're joining us on Twitter, we encourage you guys to retweet our broadcast. We want to see those comments from Twitter as well. Those of you guys who are joining us on YouTube, you can share that stream back to Facebook. You can share that link also to WhatsApp, and people can stay right on WhatsApp and watch the program live. Those of you on Facebook, give us a share back to your profile, back to your groups, back to your pages, folks. Find somewhere to share the live stream. You can even share that link to WhatsApp as well, and your friends and colleagues, your neighbors, all you fast people can watch us on WhatsApp too. Juliet Benjamin, good to see you, Juliet. Philip Bunbury, good to see Philip in the house tonight from Canada, all the way from Canada. Good to see Philip with us this evening. Good to see Gail Alicock as well. Gail, how are you doing? How are you doing, Gail? Great to see you. Great to see Margaret Nelson from South Carolina. Alexis Arthur from Wakenham. Stacy Wade. Edward Wade from Region 5. Yeovil in particular. Those folks who are joining us from Region 11, the diaspora. Asia, Africa, Europe, Australia, North America, South America, Antarctica. Welcome in the ring, folks. Donna Liverpool, Denise London Welchman, Orwin Don Cook, Michelle McKay, Juliet Benjamin, Paul DeAngelo, all of you folks, great to see you guys in the ring. Welcome, 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 one and all. I don't know what do Ali today. I don't know what do Ali. What y'all did Ali today? Paul DeAngelo, what you guys did to Ali? What y'all did to Catfish Irfaan? Confusion powder. Confusion powder, people. Rowena Cummins. Rowena, you chinks a little bit, you know. You're here one night, you're missing another night. What is happening, Rowena? We want to know. Good to see you, Rowena. Good to see you, Karen. Good to see you, Dion, Ayana, BB Sandyford. Good to see you, Trenton Marks and Cheryl Chase, Laverne Haricharan, and Kelman Prasad. Good to see all you fantastic folks. Molly Ann Mullen. Good to see you, Molly Ann. Colleen Isaacs, all the way from Toronto. Good to see you, Colleen. Good to see you, Molly Ann Mullen, all the way from Mucka. Good to see you, Molly. That's a fantastic place. Once you come from Mucka, you're good. Heaven Faith, great to see you as well. Wilton Blue. I see Jovina. Is it David Wood? David Wood, rather. Ariel Abrams. Audrey Tom again. Great to see all you fantastic folks. I see Claudette watching us there. Sandra, good luck. Denise October, Cecilia Ross. All you fantastic folks. Loetta Marcus and Oren Matthews, Petal Brown and Deborah Sharona Lynch. What happened to Ali? Get knocked out today or what? Folks, did Ali get knocked out today or what? What on God's name happened with Ali today? Confusion powder, like somebody put the confusion powder in Ali's seat. Must he Jack Dio? Is he was next to Ali? Not so, Denise? I feel it's Jack Dio. Confusion powder. Guys, I don't know about you, but I am ready to go. Ready to see what's on the fight card for this evening. And I know you guys are as well. I see Rita Singh is with us, and Oren Don Cook and Sharon Griffith. Vanetta Adams, come on down. I see Paul Rose is with us as well. Great to see Paul. Let's fight, folks. Great to see all you fantastic folks who are with us. Yvonne McPherson and Carol Jacobs. I see Pauline Spencer. I see Angel Wade and Atala Wade, Duncan, Wesley Ward, Robin O'Rain, Denise October, Dion, Ayana, Bibi. Good to see you. Irwin, Don Cook, Jolet Asana, all of you fantastic folks. Folks, y'all are ready to fight? Folks, you guys are sharing the live stream. You guys are sharing the live stream. You know what you got to do when you come in the ring, folks. We know what we got to do. Do it. We know what we got to do, folks. Good to see each and every one of you. Robin, Uvern, is it Uvern? Good to see you, Uvern. Amari Daniels and Seymour, Joan Peters, all you fantastic folks. I see some of y'all still laughing, Ali. Some of you guys are still laughing at Ali. Stop it. Chanel Smith, Daniels, you leading this brigade. You leading this brigade. Ali thinking too much about you, Miss Daniels, Counselor Daniels. Ali thinking too much about you and doing the wrong things, saying the wrong things. The man got a hold of focus. Joylyn Cook, the man got a hold of focus. He ain't ready for this fight. He think he ready. They wanted it so bad and now they got it. Oh, they still vex. They still vex and making a whole set of mistakes. They aren't ready for prime time. That is what we've been saying. Chanel, they ain't ready for prime time like you. They got to go and come again. They got to wheel and come again. Faye Glasgow. Molly and Bolin. Lover and Harry Chiran. Good to see all you fantastic folks. Claire, Jeff Mount. Good to see you, Claire, and is it Stephen Jarvis? All you fantastic folks like Karen Allen. Great to see you guys in the ring. We want you guys to share the live stream this evening, wherever you guys are joining us from. Folks, I know that you guys are ready for the fight card. I am ready for the fight card, but I want to make sure, I want to break free. That's the song that Ali was singing. Jack, you're too close upon him. The man want to break free, but Ali ain't letting the man go. Ali is not leaving the man go. That being said, folks, I want you guys to help us to stay on the air. I want you guys to help us to expand. I want you guys to help us to do what we're doing bigly, in a more professional way. And so we've been asking you guys to come on board with us and help us to meet our obligations, help us to expand, help us to move forward in strength and power. Help us, guys. And so we're inviting you guys to come on board with us and partner with us on a monthly basis for as low as $5 US. That's $1,000 $10 US, $15 US, $20 US. And we've made available the Cash App feature, and that's the $ in the ring 592 Cash App. That's our Cash App handle. Again, it's the $ in the ring 592 at, yeah, that's the Cash App handle. Sorry. The $ in the ring 592 at PayPal. It's in the ring 592 at Gmail, in the ring 592 at Gmail for PayPal, and for the MoneyGram, which is the local Cash App. MoneyGram is 627-6963, 627-6963. If you have any queries, you need any guidance, you have an information tip, you have some news, you got something that is breaking, you have something that a piece of video you think that can go viral, share it with us. We would love to give you any guidance you need. WhatsApp us on that very number, 627-6963, and we'd love to help you guys with Any guidance that you may need, we're available at Western Union and MoneyGram as well, folks. Help us to move forward and to do what we do bigly. That being said, folks, we've gotten the housekeeping out of the way. I want to get to the fight card. I'm sure you want to get to the fight card too. I want to see what's in store for you guys. Truth be told, I know it's on the fight card. I know what's on the fight card, but I want you guys to see what is on the fight card as well, folks. So let us turn our attention there. While we get our is it there? While we get our social media icons up there. Bing! And we are ready to go, folks. Yep, there we go. Share the live stream wherever you guys are joining us from, on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, guys. Welcome in the ring. Ladies and gentlemen from around the world, here was what transpired during the course of the day that might interest you. And of course, we turn our attention to the wild hogs. We turn the attention to the wild hogs. Folks, they need training, you know. They need taming. Some of these wild hogs need taming. Some of them boiling down to low gravy. You know, folks who are not familiar with Guyanese culture would not understand what that term means. Boiled down to low gravy. Oh, they were high and mighty. And then something happened and then they eat humble pie. But that is what we saw happening just today. It was confusion powder. Ladies and gentlemen, it was confusion powderism. It was confusion powder as Ali went to the United Nations, the 96th sitting of the General Assembly of the United Nations. And folks, boy, oh boy, it was confusion powder. I've never seen nothing like this. Examining these events over the last 3 or so days, it's purgatory, it's confusion powder. You know, the crosses on full display. The Navakamites, the Nakavakamites, the Kavakamites, the Jebusites, the Hipposites, the hypocrites on full display. Ali goes to the UN. Oh, it's like a soap opera. Ladies and gentlemen, it is like a soap opera. Hasn't it been that? And we want to show you part of that exchange that Ali made today in a very, very special meeting. In a very special meeting. Folks, I want you to see part of that exchange, and let me make sure that we have it queued up right for you. You better get a job, popcorn. Now your popcorn, that's for decent bill. Popcorn. Get out your popcorn, folks, and strap yourselves in. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Strap yourselves in. This is what transpired. Right? Ali makes his debut, ladies and gentlemen, on Thursday, tomorrow. His official big speech before the UN Assembly, before the UN General Assembly. And if today, ladies and gentlemen from around the world, if today was anything to go by, oh my God, y'all strap yourselves in tomorrow. Because they're going to be purgatory. Strap yourselves in tomorrow. This is some of what this Jagabat said today. You see, when you install, the trenches won't want to hear this tonight. The trenches won't want to watch this tonight. I know at this point, the trenches turn in the face. They're closing the ear. But this is what he said. Take a look, take a listen.
I'm pleased to participate in today's commemoration. Guyana is committed to gaining international reparations for the crime of African enslavement. Reparative justice must not only include a full and unconditional apology from those responsible and or who benefited from the transatlantic trade in captive Africans and their consequent enslavement, must go beyond apology. In this regard, Guyana will continue to support the efforts being made within the Caribbean community to press for the convening of an international summit to demand reparative justice for the victims of the transatlantic slave trade. I'm pleased to participate in today's commemoration. Guyana is committed to gaining international reparations for the crime of African enslavement. Reparative justice must not only include a full and unconditional apology from those responsible and or who benefited from the transatlantic trade in captive Africans and their consequent enslavement must go beyond apology. In this regard, Ghana will continue to support the efforts being made within the Caribbean community to press for the convening of an international summit to demand reparative justice for the victims of the transatlantic slave trade. I'm pleased to participate in today's
and believe it or not, that is merely, folks, that is merely a minute of less than a 5-minute presentation. But you see, when you went Ifrot University to get your first degree, you see, when you went Eugene, you fall out in second year. You see, when you wasn't really supposed to get the presidency in the first place because you didn't get the most votes at the party congress, but you cheat and you fraud. You see, when you get elected on votes that weren't valid, all manner of things happen. All manner of things happen. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as we saw this preview to what is going to take place tomorrow, right? Because we saw this preview, we have to give a little present. Folks, we have to give a little gift. We got to cheer him on. Is y'all in style, President? We got to cheer him on. We got to cheer him on. So on behalf of the trenches, allow us to present a little token to Irfaan, right? Somebody said he got E for effort. A little token for Irfaan. Now, if you read this little book, you can do so much better. You can do so much better. Now, this little book here is going to allow you, it's going to help you with your pronunciation. This little book here, with your pronunciation and enunciation. And I could see over 4,000 persons. I can see over 4,000 persons leaning into their smart devices to see the name of the book. I can see over 4,000 persons do that, lean in to see what is this special gift that we are offering, that we are giving to cheer him on tonight, right? To cheer him on. We like to see people do well. So folks, share the live stream. Share the live stream, y'all fast self. Right? Share that live stream wherever you're joining us from, so all the people can see this book that we're giving to Irfaan. Y'all don't be stingy, right? And of course, this book is English pronunciations made simple. English pronunciations made simple, and that is our gift to Irfaan. Listen, if you read this book tonight, Irfaan, as we know, folks close to the delegation tell us they'll be up all night. This is one of the books you got to be going through this evening. If you read this book, English pronunciation made better, made simple rather, by Paula Dale and is it Lillian Palms? Yes, Lillian Palms and Paula Dale. English pronunciation made simple. You can't go wrong tomorrow because Irfaan needs nothing less than an Obama-esque speech tomorrow at the General Assembly. He has to hit it out of the park tomorrow. Anything less, we are going to be right here back tomorrow night giving you the 411. So again, because he's come out the blocks, folks, share the live stream. This is our gift to Irfaan. English pronunciation made better. But folks, we want y'all to know this. There seems to be something with the PPP and words. Whether it is Priya, whether it is whoever, there is something with PPP and words. Whether it is Charles Ramson, there is something with the PPP and the English language. It's a fight, people. It's a fight between them and the English language. It is a fight between them and the English language. I'm telling you this. The English language are winning. is a fight between them and the English language. And again, the English language ain't winning. The English language not winning. Share the live stream, folks.
Help be reminded of Shakespeare's Hamlet. And I see the right honourable member, Minister of Education has perked up a bit. When sorrows come, they come not single spies, but in Banty lions. But context is always important.
Context, people. Context is always important. Not battalions. Banty lions. Not reparative. Whatever Irfaan said. And so we have a gift also. We have a gift also for Banty lion. Because we want them to get better. We have a little gift this evening for Banty lion as well. And if he reads this, if Banty lion reads this in his spare time, he can't go wrong. You got to find some time to sharpen the iron. Sharpen your vocab. Sharpen your vocabulary. And so pronunciation for dummies is highly recommended. Highly recommended. Folks, we want to see those emojis. We want to see those shares wherever you're joining us from this evening. Again, a gift for Irfaan. And we couldn't leave Charles Ramson undone. We don't want Charles to get jealous of Irfaan. Next thing you know, is a war of words of mispronunciation. And so this is the gift we have for Charles Ramson this evening. Pronunciation for dummies. Pronunciation for dummies. And ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow evening, again, tomorrow is a big day. And as I said to you, Irfaan has to hit it out of the park. Nothing less will do. Nothing less will do. It has to be hit out of the park. Straight out of the park. Nothing less will do. And so moving on, folks. Moving on. On the COVID front, you guys have seen what has been happening back home here. It's a crisis in COVID. And moving this ball forward is the installed Minister of Education and Frank Anthony. We're learning, for instance, that places like the airport locking people out because of COVID-19. Lots of confusion happening in various sectors, various organizations. And so we learned some folks were locked out at the airport, got their vaccination cards, went back to work, only to learn that they're dismissed. Folks of African descent, they're dismissed. While Irfaan them at the UN General Assembly talking about loving black people. We're seeing a pervasive spread of COVID throughout the NDCs. Frank, your name calling. We know 2 NDCs in Region 5. One at Seafield and Tempe, the Seafield Tempe NDC, and the Bel Air Woodlands number 8 NDC. A number of persons there, number of administrative staff have come down as COVID positive. And now they are very, very worried about their family. They are very, very worried about their families. Some of their children have also come down as COVID positive. We're seeing in several schools also. Again, the Grove Primary School, Priya, is one of those places that we're seeing persons being tested positive for COVID-19. Grove Primary School, we called out a whole catalog of them just recently on this very program. We note as well that St. Margaret's, that was closed because of COVID-19, teachers and students contracting COVID-19, is slated to reopen for face-to-face learning. So we're monitoring that. We are monitoring that. And persons are very worried. Persons are very worried. One fellow told us that he went to make a report, a grave report at the police station. And they're asking him for his vaccination card before he can make the report. Before he can make the report. So nothing's irregular. Enough things and regular, folks. Moving along as you guys share the live stream. Folks, we are concerned in this country about what's happening to this small man. Whether it's a teacher, whether it's a counselor at the NDC, the pervasiveness of COVID-19, economically, how it's hitting people. We are very concerned about the small man. Another area which we're concerned about the small man is when promises are made. They should be fulfilled. When promises are made, they should be fulfilled. And so quite recently, the Minister of Social Protection, Vindhya Prasad, made a commitment via company Vitality Inc., which donated $1 million to rebuild a single-parent home. $1 million to rebuild a single-parent home in Matthews Ridge. We're learning the woman's name is one Ernest Lara. We are being made to understand that the money done and the contractor has been unpaid for about 3 months now. The house isn't finished, and this money was supposed to finish the house. So Vindhya Prasad, installed Minister of Social Protection. Your name calling, Vindhya. Your name calling, promises were made that are not being fulfilled. And we're being made to understand it's not a very big house, 20 by 16. It was said in the press release from the ministry that this money was to cover materials and labor. The money done, the house and finish. So Vindhya, when y'all make promises, you gotta keep them. Y'all like put up big billboards. Promise delivered. Well, the people with the gold scholarships telling me something different. And the people from Matthews Ridge telling us something different. Vindhya, your name calling. Vindhya, your name calling. Vindhya, your name calling. And while we are on Vindhya, who watches over the Palms Geriatric Home? While we're on Vindhya, who watches over the Palms Geriatric Home? We saw protests out there recently. And Vindhya is trying to convince us, as though we need convincing. Vindhya is trying to convince us that what we're seeing happening there, it's not true. There is no truth to it. But we know differently. And we want to share one of those stories with you guys this evening. Just bear with me. Let me make sure that we have it set up nicely for you. I'm going to share just a piece of it with you. I'm going to share just a piece of this with you. Let me make sure it is set up for you guys.
Can you state your name to me? And what is happening here at the Palms today? Why are you out here?
We've been locked out for being unvaccinated. Even though we would have worked prior, 2 weeks now we've been working with COVID cases which have been isolated right in the Palms, and we were working with them. So now that everybody has recovered, they have decided to lock out the nurses. So if you don't have a vaccination card, you can't go in. However, some of my colleagues would have been vaccinated. All of us who's out here, some of us have vaccination cards, while some of us are exempt. So we have a new deputy who did not wait until staff would have come in to verify and see who vaccinated, who unvaccinated, and who could have passed. She came very early this morning and told the security to lock the gate. So persons who, when we came, the gate was already locked. So we didn't able with the fight after working 2 weeks with COVID cases. I think by now, they know who is positive, who negative, who get card, who don't have card. So if you're going to rebel against the staff decided to rebel, you lock the gate, we stay outside.
So this is what category of staff out here? It's all the same.
Patient care assistants and nursing assistants. Maids and office assistants.
Okay, so there's like, you would say 90% of the staff or so?
Actually, all the staff, we only have four 4 PCA in their working wards right now, and they have instructed the maids to assist in sharing the meal to the residents. However, we don't have anybody on the ward that is going to be administrate medication, tidying, care of the residents.
Okay,
Because
so
everybody's outside.
all right, and so how long y'all intend to keep up the
How
protest?
long they decide to keep the gate locked? However, there is a talk on the table right now. They ask us to give them 24 hours, and we are giving them the 24 hours to work whatever they have to work out, and then we will.
So, folks, that is some of what transpired.
afternoon,
That is some of what transpired on the ground there, and I'm going to be talking to Christopher Jones in just a moment about that. But I want to get through the fight card this evening before I have my guests on, as we continue to examine what is happening on the ground. And my other guest, Mr. David Patterson, is also on standby, and this is one of the things I'm going to be talking to him about now. The National Procurement and Tender Administration Board, on a particular issue just today, the retendering of the NDIA's steel sheet contract, saying it's not we. The minister said publicly that it is the tender board that retendered the contract and not him. Now, this minister has already been found to be telling a lot of lies. In Parliament, they say untruths. He gave away a lot of trawler license. And lied about it. And now he's saying it is the Tender Procurement Board. The board is saying it's not them. The National Procurement and Tender Administration Board is saying it's not them. And so that's one of the things I'm gonna ask David when he comes on in just a minute. Moving on very quickly, folks. Moving on very quickly. Justice. Remember that shooting in front of Palm Court? Roger Khan associate, Mr. Fagundes, he said he was like a brother, like a son to him. Was like a brother and like a son to him. Folks, I better share the live stream. 6 months later, the people say they want justice. And you all know the police force and the government like to talk about they will leave no stone unturned. For the Boston fella in Essequibo, for Harris Singh, for Joel and Isaiah Henry, no stone unturned. 6 months later, no stone has been turned. And so the Fagundes family asking for justice. Asking for justice. Another issue I want to turn your attention to, and this is what I'm going to be picking former Minister of Infrastructure, his brain on the breaking down of the guardrails of democracy. Because one of the things we have been seeing is that a lot of projects are being farmed out to friends and family of the PPP. Friends and family of the PPP. But they aren't going through the channels that everybody go through. And I want to ask David what is happening here. They are not going through the channels. For the new Demara Harbor Bridge, the government saying you don't need an environmental impact assessment. For the oil exploration of the Kanji block, PPP say you don't need an EIA, an environmental impact assessment. For the oil to gas waste treatment facility at Coverdale, they say you don't need an EIA. They're forgoing all of these things that have a purpose. Right? There's a proposed Marriott for good for Wacting. You don't need you don't need an EIA, an environment impact assessment. Environmental impact assessment. The gas ashore project for Wales. I gotta ask David about that. What is happening there? And then this ETI group, still waiting to be set up. I saw they convened one quite recently. But what is happening with the development of this country and critical infrastructure, critical processes to ensure that Guyanese get a fair shake? They're not being attended to. They are not being attended to, and we want to find out what is happening there. And so, ladies, tonight, for the main event, we have both Christopher Jones and Mr. David Patterson, both members of Parliament, Christopher Jones, the former director of sports, and Mr. Patterson, the former minister of public infrastructure. And I'm very privileged to have each of them in the ring this evening. And so welcome, Chris. And I'm going to welcome David at the same time. And David, feel free to jump into the discussion that we're going to have with Chris about what is happening at the Palms, because Chris name calling. Chris name calling. David, I know that I call you name plenty, but Chris name calling. So we saw what happened there at the Palms. Those folks
good night, Chris. Good night, Sharon. It's good to hear
David.
Name calling and not calling for a while.
For a change.
What's the front body?
and take one for the team. So, Chris, you would have been on the ground there, hearing the plight of those workers, and Vindia, Care Bears Vindia, is trying to persuade us that that is not happening. What we're hearing and what we're seeing with our own eye is not happening. Talk to us, Chris.
All right, so good night, David. Good night, Sharon, your viewers. Essentially, just for the benefit of your viewers that they may not know, is that since the whole pandemic, the APNU AFC members of parliament across the length and breadth of the country have been monitoring all health facilities, outposts, you name it, across the country. And part of my assignment included the Palms Geriatric Home. And of course, the MPs have been in contact with patient care providers across the country, and therefore up-to-date information is always fed to us. Now, today at the Palms, all of the staff were locked out, saving up except for about 6 persons who happened to also be maids. Now, you heard in that piece, the nurse indicated that they have instructed, that is the administrator there, they have instructed the maids to lend assistance in terms of providing meals to the patients there. What is noteworthy to mention is that at the Palms Geriatric Home, you have persons there who suffer from many ailments, inclusive of diabetics, some are hypertensive and so forth. And therefore, it is not a case that you just take a meal to them, because many of them have meal restriction in terms of what they can and cannot eat. As well, too, every hour, some of those patients there at the Palms Geriatric Home require their medication. As I mentioned, those persons who are suffering from diabetes, such medications such as diabetes, metformin, and so forth, even insulin has to be injected to them. Those nurses who are locked on the outside were the authorized persons who can administer medication and injection, not the persons on the inside. As well, too, is that the beds that the patients are on was not changed, so many of them were essentially sleeping, resting, sitting in their own excretion, and that was all day today. So the statement emanating from the ministry, it's tried to paint a rosy picture that patient care was not disrupted. It's far from the truth. We've always mentioned on these programs that in every health facility, there is what you call patient to nurse ratio, which requires that for every, let's say, 10 patients, there is at least 1 or 2 nurses to care for that person. In the Palms, there's currently 168 inmates that are in there. All of the nurses were outside, saving except for 4 persons. How is it that patient-nurse ratio could be had when you have the nurses and the persons who are supposed to be administering medication are locked on the outside?
Yeah, I doubt Vinda has ever even been to the Palms. Chris, I doubt she's ever even been there. David?
On a bigger note, Sherrod and Chris, the most vulnerable of society, other than the youth, would be the elderly. And this, as you know, it's almost like a sin or a crime to get old in Guyana. The care you get, the finance you get, it's abysmal. I mean, I don't know how many visitors would have visited the Palms. It's not a hotel. I mean, there are persons that are informed, there are persons who can't take care of themselves, and they depend on the nurses and their caregivers and those things like that. If you're going to just implement a system just like that, one day you're employed, the next day you can't come because of vaccine, COVID, and those things like that. You must have alternatives. It should not be a sin to become old in this country. And that is what we're seeing here. I mean, if you want to implement the system whereby the same system you have. If you're not vaxxed or PCR tested, you can't come to work. That's their system, but you must make provisions for these people. These are people that would have served. These are the people that we stand on their shoulders. The country, it is what it is for those persons in the palms. And it seems like those people are forgetting that our forefathers, indentured slaves, and our forefathers are the ones that made us what we are today. And if we treat them with such disrespect, imagine if we treat those persons with such disrespect that their bed sheets are not changed, they cannot, they can't get the medication, whatever it is like that. If you're treating those most vulnerable persons like that, imagine what you do to us, the rest of the population, the able-bodied, and those things like that.
Yeah.
So it's David, far more than that.
David, talking about disrespect, before we get into the area of oil and gas, but that I wanna get your impression on. The word is reparative, and we felt disrespected today, almost embarrassed. And I want to get Chris' take as well, as somebody who has operated at the executive levels in this country. What did you make of Irfaan going to the UN and that statement that was read out today? He didn't even have to memorize it verbatim, that was read out. What was your take on that on behalf of our country? David?
Well, no, I thought Chris was going for it, but first and foremost, let me tell you, the pinnacle of any head of state is either you go to the UN conference, you go to a G20 or a G7. Of course, we're not a G7 or a G20 country. So at the moment, so the pinnacle of your career or where you get world-known recognition is when you go to the UN. I can remember years ago that Skerrett from Dominica, he went to the UN immediately after a hurricane that decimated his country, and he made a powerful speech that was replayed over and over around the world. That Eden is broken. That was the theme of his speech, meaning that Eden, which is likened to Dominica, was decimated by the hurricane. So people remember you for these things, and this is a chance to put your country on the map. Small country like Guyana, forget what it is. You could always remember Chetty Jagan made the Global World Order. He made a statement to repeat it quite often. So the very first time that you are going to go to the UN, the least you could do is understand what you're reading. The least you could do. And if they got big words you can't pronounce, scratch it out. You know what I mean? If you can't scratch it out, because it's a reflection on the country.
Yeah.
Every American, every world citizen, all 7 billion persons that would have seen that YouTube will look at Guyana and say that we are some bumbling idiots. Right? I know that they were trying to pass it over and those things like that, to say the temporary lapse and nothing, but it's called preparation. Preparation, and those are the P's, preparation, and all those things there. But it's preparation. I understand what you're reading. Somebody obviously wrote it for him, a speechwriter. There's no commitment. There's no no one believes what he said at all. That, of course, that this is a government who is willing to look at reparation and they're apprehensive on what's been done to the.
You can't even share flood relief with equity. Is reparation you talking about?
Exactly. So therefore, when your leaders go to the UN, right? These are the sound bites. We're supposed to be able to take it up, cut a piece of it, and say, "Hey, every boy." Most embarrassing. But it just shows you what we have as leaders. And they can sit down and make laugh on the APNU AFC government, because that's what they do. That's how they survive. Try to belittle, shoot the messengers rather than the message. But there's no way you would get former President going to the UN and making those blunders. At least you can do, you know what I mean? Of course, if you can't read and write, you shouldn't be president. And if you can't read and write, you got to use small words. I mean, if you can't say reparation, you can say repay the slaves. You might be able to use that, you know what I mean? So it's quite embarrassing. Quite embarrassing. Of course, they gloss it over and they say, oh, it's temporary. They say bad lighting. They say the speech writer changed his speech at the last moment while he was in the water when he came back. They're good at gloss it over, right? But no, seriously, Chris, you have had to deliver speech, Sherrod as well. You have to deliver speeches at Parliament.
All of us as parliamentarians.
And there's no way. Yeah, no, but there's no way you can get the speech which you prepared or somebody prepared and you get it and you're stumbling. You couldn't even say commemoration.
Yeah.
Correct. You know what I mean? You couldn't even say the basic words. I mean, over 8 letters long problem with. And that is the impression people will have of Guyanese, which is wrong.
Yeah.
Across the divide, we're all a very educated, literate persons, hardworking persons. But when you have it there now, it'll be. I wouldn't be surprised if Lil Wayne make a song or a jingle over it. You know what I mean?
Well, you know,
Because
it's
it's
jingle. They ain't like
so
jingle.
hilarious, you know what I mean?
They ain't like jingle.
Well, that's all right. That's all right. I mean, first and foremost, they can't really spell jingle. You know what I mean? They can't prepositions.
Can't pronounce it
The
either.
word with
Yeah.
P gives them problems.
Yeah.
That gives them problems. You know what I mean? And so you know what I mean. So that's it.
Chris?
Yeah, well, you know, essentially, fellas, every time Irfaan Ali is about to make a speech, whether it's addressed to the nation locally or you cringe, you know, regardless of which side of the fence you sit, you cringe. Because you know for certain at the end of the day, this individual is the flag carrier at this point in time. And whatever he says represents the entire nation, all 700,000 of us. Today, I was unaware that he was making a speech today because I'm expecting him to speak tomorrow to the United Nations. So when the tweet started to circulate on social media, literally I sat quietly for a moment because as a Guyanese, I felt embarrassed. I mean, and it's just beyond the politics. You just felt embarrassed. And you know, we said this before. We said this from the inception in terms of Irfaan Ali. During the campaign preparation and so forth, we said this to all and sundry. Now, sitting next to Irfaan Ali is Bharat Jagdeo, who looked like he might have been the script writer. And if you notice his facial expression when he turned and looked at him like, this is a simple word. Why can't you pronounce it? Pronounce it, you know? But you cringe. Now, if tomorrow is the main event, and this was the sideshow,
He's going to be up all night.
I hope to God that tomorrow GPL give the entire nation a blackout. You know, so you can save us that heartache from listening to Irfaan Ali speak. Like David said, when former President David Granger goes anywhere. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, no, Chris, you know that tomorrow they would. I mean, I would like to hope as a Guyanese, if we learn from his mistakes, Irfaan would realize his mistakes and say to the guys, no words bigger than 5 letters.
Correct.
No words bigger than 5 letters. You know what I mean? So therefore, I can't stumble it. Then you gotta ask, talk about the font. You gotta be big font. You know, like when you used to go to school, you used to buy those books, big font. So therefore, you know, you take your time reading it. So I'm hoping, and then I hope that he chooses a topic that he understands well. I don't know what topic he understands well. I chose something he understands well. Because you can't be speaking about reparation. You can't be speaking about the atrocities, the slavery. You can't be talking about the hardship of indentured laborers. I don't understand what you're saying. It comes up in how you express yourself, your facial expressions, your tone, your mannerism. So he should stick to things that he knows. I don't know what he knows, but he should stick to things he knows, small words, small letters, and those things like that. So at least as a country,
could be catfish. could like
Yeah.
to speak about catfish.
Yeah, but I mean, fair
That might
enough.
be
I mean,
something
it could be. That may
David,
be right. That because I know how he.
talking about topics that they
Yeah.
may know. Let's look at some development issues that they are trying to focus on at home here, and we see some projects are being farmed out. But some of the processes that ensure that these projects are really beneficial to Guyanese, the common man, the ordinary man, all of us seem to be they seem to be, kind of waving them again in the interest of their friends, in the interest of kickbacks and corruption, and perhaps making money. And we see, for instance, a lot of the environmental impact assessments that I've called off, several of them, they're waving them. David, what is happening here? The APNUCO, the coalition government could never have gotten away with this. Why is the PP being held to a different standard?
David? So let me take you, Sharon, and let me take you and your viewers in the ring back a little bit. So environmental impact assessment does not stop a project. It tells somebody what they have to do to ensure that the project that they've done has mitigates against or the minimum amount of damage to your environment. So, for example, over in the West Bank, Schoonard, where they cleared all the mangroves, environmental impact assessment will tell you that if you clear the mangroves, you're destroying the habitat for birds, animals, fish, and those things like that. You're now making the area more susceptible to flooding and those things like that. You have to invest to replace what you have damaged or destroyed. However, what is happening now? So we want to do that because the environmental impact assessment takes a year, maybe 6 months. It can be between, as Dr. Vince Adams said recently, it can take a year, 6 months to a year to do, because you have to investigate everything: noise pollution, artistic pollution. You can't go and put in the middle of nowhere. You can't go and put about a sand castle because, of course, all the buildings around you are timber building. Traffic flow. All the different pollution. What they are on is a get-rich-quick scheme. So they're bypassing all the guardrails, as you rightly said, Cheryl, all the guardrails that you would have for one of these major big projects. So you have a bridge, a brand new bridge. They're going to drive piles in the bridge. You're going to disrupt the marine traffic. You're going to disrupt the environment. You're going to break down mangroves. You're going to replay. You're going to move people out their homes to build that bridge if it actually does happen. I have my concerns on that. I don't think it will happen. You would have several impacts on that. Yet you said, oh, you don't need no environmental impact assessment. You know what I mean?
It's a no-brainer.
No, it's a no-brainer. But on the other hand, Sharon, you must remember that Jagdeo was on TV, on television, on social media, in the press, saying that Guyana is a climate-friendly country and we want to be restorative for our environment and those things like that. So if you are a steward and a champion of the environment, champion of the earth, such as he was declared, why wouldn't you do anything that you have to protect our citizens on the earth? It's all about the Benjamins. All about the Benjamins. Get rich quick. Yeah. And my theory, Sherrod, my theory is that they're not very comfortable and stable in government. They don't expect that they will be there for whenever the next election happening. So therefore, this is like in the old Wild West. In the old Wild West, when they would fire a gun and people run off, and whoever reach where you put a stake down, you said, oh, this is my homestead. This is literally what's happening in Guyana now. So they're running, enriching themselves, their families, and break down all the guardrails so that come next elections, when they lose, they at least say, well, I have this shore base, I build this whales to shore province. And it's all, if you go, they have all this veneer saying it's a public property and they go through due diligence and nothing. When you peel that back like an onion, peel it back 2 layers. It's
Yeah.
all them. They're all PPP persons, all their friends, their colleagues.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard report that they've registered companies in Anguilla and Antigua and those things like that, and then they say, "Oh, we're bringing international firms." It just registered.
Yeah.
So
David,
that's literally what's happening.
What you're saying there seems to have substance, David. Because, for instance, as you're talking about bridges, the air bridge at the airport, when you were minister, you bought air bridges there, quality air bridges. They're buying the same air bridges for about $300 million more. We see also the very gas ashore project happening at Wales. That project was costing at one figure about, I think, $300 to $400 million. Under the PPP is almost $900 million. Chris, David.
But let's start in the air bridges. We bought the exact same brand. You know, our Agile. Of course, I mean, the exact same brand, exact same specifications. Exact same manufacturer came out to the exact same company for $1.6 million. Come Agile and his people and those things and the PPP, they're now paying $2 million. And when I asked, he says that this new company is the sole distributor. In 2018, we went to the company that manufactures it. They send via the contractor. They send their representative. They install it and those things. 2020, we are now back to the situation. Some company that has been around is the distributor of the exact same air bridges that we would have bought, specifications, everything, for less money.
Wow.
$200 million less, you know what I mean? So, and of course, and it was a sole source contract. They didn't go to no public bids or anything, it's a sole source contract.
Yeah.
Of course, our media and our press don't pick these things up. They'll say they write one article and they'll say anything. Then with the gas to shore project, we were landing this gas to shore project in this country for less than $400 million US, doing exactly the same thing that the people are doing. They are $900 million in counting, because the $900 million only in the pipeline. Our pipeline was $308 million US. Their own is $900 million. Then they have to buy the generators and those things like that. Purely, as I said before, just money for the boys.
Yeah.
Retirement funds, full Ponzi scheme. Because I don't think that and you'll soon hear, I reckon by the end of this year, mid next year, you know what I mean? Jagdeo and those will be saying, oh, well, we had enough with politics, we're going to retire, and we allow it to the youths and those things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. But they'll do that after they line their pockets with these monies.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening. And of course, our civil society is obviously quite muted. You know what I mean? If the Guardians are sleeping. The Guardians gone out. You know what I mean? The Guardians have stopped guarding. If we as our ministry, as our government has tried making a project that was $400 million complete, $900 million halfway, US, you know.
Yeah.
You would have heard, you would have seen the editorials, you would have seen not a single word, Sheriff.
The litany. And you know, that brings us to another question. And Chris, jump in if you can. When we were in government, they made a fuss. They got international journals to write all pens for hire, write all kind of filth about our management of the oil and gas sector. They were going to come in and renegotiate this contract and that contract and the PSA and all manner of things. 1 year later, not one of those contracts have been renegotiated. David and Chris, is this telling us that the contracts that were had under the AFC administration were the best that we could have done at that time?
Well, the PPP.
I'll tell you.
Go,
Chris.
David. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I'll tell you this here. So it has to be because there's nobody changing it. Nobody, no one's complaining about it. You know, and probably Kaichor News and those things like that. We in the opposition, right? I, on behalf of the opposition, have said to them, if you think it's a bad contract, if all the things that you said before are so bad, if you think that you can do better for Guyana, we will support you. I will support. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And here's what they've done, Chris. Here's what they, Chris and Sherrod. This same gas to shore project, they have said to Exxon, you can take $900 million out of the money that is due to Guyana. Exxon has said to them, it will take 15. Remember, I told that we have at least every 10 days there is a lift, which is a million barrels of a million plus barrels, and it's shared between Guyana, Exxon, Hess, and CNOG. So every fifth lift, we get it. They've said to Exxon, you build this gas to shore project for $900 million, you take out the money out to Guyanese. And Exxon said to them, listen to me, well, we need, for this $900 million, we have 20 lifts. So therefore, from the day they start that project, for the next 20 lifts, which means 20 times you're supposed to get royalties and money. And so we have absolutely no money.
Wow.
And they're trying to tell us that they're doing this for the benefit of Guyanese.
Wow.
15 to 20 times shares that we're supposed to collect our money, and every time we're supposed to collect, depending on the oil prices, it'd be about $60 to $70 million. Exxon has said to them, well, yes, we're building this pipeline, which on the AP and UAFC is going to cost $400 million. We're going to bring it to you for $900 million.
And this is US. This is US. I don't think
US dollars.
Of the amount of money that we aren't getting as a country. Right?
So they said, we'll build this pipeline and we bring it in for you for $900 million, right? But here's what we will do. We will take all the oil that you're supposed to collect for 15 to 20 times. We will take it.
Yeah.
For the next, whenever they start, 15 or almost 2 years, the only thing that we will get is royalties.
Yeah.
So therefore, we will lose upfront $900 million starting from whenever if they ever start this project.
Yeah.
And all that $900 million, it goes to the PPP and their cohorts, and they will use it to enrich themselves. Guyanese, I mean, there's been something the AP and UFC have spoken about, cash transfers to ordinary citizens. I mean, Dr. Clive Thomas has said $5,000 a year. It's debatable on the amount, but we have agreed that we should have a direct cash transfer. It can't happen because we wouldn't be getting any money from the oil companies because they've signed this.
Yeah.
You take all money up front. So therefore, that's the little issues that we have here. So not a single soul. You know what I mean? For Rams and all of those persons that did, and I mean, Oil and You and Oil and Guyana articles and those things, they stopped doing that. Yeah. You have to wonder why.
Yeah. Guys, unfortunately, that's our time for this evening. But David and Chris, I want to know that when they came in, they said they wanted to look at this Payara field development plan, and they brought in a consultant to the value of $386,000. That was the original quoted figure. That price went up to revise the contract, went up to $429,000 to date. I don't think that contract has changed much. For all that money we spend there, and this is money belonging to Guyanese. We ain't seen that kind of money.
Not a single soul outside of the government has seen the report.
Yeah.
If you noted recently, we saw a pronouncement from Guardrails, and Guardrails is essentially setting the stage so all Guyanese will be aware that, listen, you got no money to get from this aisle anytime soon. But behind that, he's not telling them exactly what David and Justin alluded to. Because of these new arrangements that they would have made with Exxon and these other oil companies and so on. So
Yeah.
Jaglio has already set the stage. It was the
Yeah.
same Jaglio while the AP and UFC was in government was saying, as you mentioned, that they will renegotiate all of these contracts because all of these contracts are bad and terrible, and the APNU made several blunders and all of that. It is the very same contract that is now in place, no amendment, no changes, because the PDP knew then, as they know now, that those negotiations by the APNU, AFC in government were the best that we could have gotten at the time.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned now, they have now made a new arrangement with Exxon. The Guyanese will not see a single cent, and Jaglio is setting the stage for that.
He said it will take years before we can see anything. Yeah.
Let me close on this, and let me let your viewers know on the ring and wherever, right? That what is essentially happening on this gas ashore project, which started out under the APNU AFC government, under my ministry, my previous ministry, and all it was a single simple project to generate electricity by gas coming from the Lisa field. It has now morphed into one of the biggest Ponzi schemes, largest white ever. And I want to remind you viewers this. Under the PPP, I mean, there's a myth which says that the PPP are better at managing the economy than the AP and UAFC. But that, irrespective of that you believe that myth or not, they are terrible at big projects. Skeldon, Maria, you talk
a mile of falls,
a mile of falls, every single thing, and the reason why they are absolutely terrible at that. So the very first thing they do when these projects come is siphon off for themselves.
The scampish.
See how they could get money, who can get money, who can do this. So they are going with a gas ashore project, which in the next 3 years, will take more than $1 billion that was supposed to come to Guyana. Under this contract, where they said it's so bad, but it's so bad, but they're taking $1 billion. And they will tell people the reason why you can't get the $1 billion because AP and UFC didn't negotiate the back contract. Not true. Hogwash.
Yeah.
That $1 billion could have gone to help the people at the Palms. Sorry, Cheryl, I came in a bit late, so we do this again.
Right ahead.
But the people at the Palms, right? That money should be going to our elderly, the folks whose shoulders we lived on, our young and our youth, the people that are in the backgrounds. I mean, because we care is $19,000 and then school children and those things like that. No one looks at the farmers. Yeah. The farmers, I call them the little cash cut farmers, the poor muds and fathers who are there.
The small man.
To survive. Small man. Cost of living has almost doubled under the PPP. Almost doubled under the PPP. And then they give you $19,000, which is worth $8,000 under the AP and UFC, and they say to you, "We care." Impossible.
100 US, not 5,000. 100 US, and say, "Go in the car and be quiet."
100 US.
Yeah.
I say, go forth and multiply.
Yeah. Go forth and multiply. Christopher Jones, Member of Parliament. David Patterson, Member of Parliament, former Director of Sports, former Minister of Public Infrastructure. Fellas, thanks for coming in the ring. This is a topic that definitely we will need some more time, and definitely another installment sometime in the near future. So I'm putting you guys on notice. Our Guyanese folks need to know what's happening, because this is where a huge portion of our country's wealth is, and it's being siphoned off by these corrupt folks. Thank you, David. Thank you, Christopher. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Sherrod. Thanks for having me, man.
Have a fantastic evening, guys. Folks, and there it is. That's our program for this evening. Folks, again, huge thank you for David Patterson. A huge thank you for Christopher Jones for spending this time with us. Fantastic, folks. Fantastic insight into these issues. Folks, we got to keep fighting. We got to keep fighting. We got to keep fighting. We worry with no distractions happening. This is what they're doing in our country, and we want you guys to know. That's our program for this evening. As you know, I'm going to stick around and give some of you a shout out. Some of you are going off to some other places, to some other shows. It's just over program time. I'm going to stick around for a bit and say hello to a couple of you guys. But if you got to go, you got to go, folks. Great to have each and every one of you. I see Pollyann is with us. I see Desiree Smart Felix is with us. Desiree, good to see you there. all of you fantastic people joining us across social media around the world. Great to see so many of you. And let me get my housekeeping out of the way so I can really give some of you guys a shout out. Guys, you know we're asking you to come on board and to partner with us. You know, some of you guys have taken the opportunity, and some of y'all still on the fence. Some of y'all still on the fence, and we can tell you guys that every dollar you give us is going to be well spent. It's going to be well spent to keeping our eyes, training our eyes on these folks, building our program bigger, getting the right equipment, getting the right personnel, so that we can continue to scrutinize them, so that we can continue to go after them. We must pursue the truth wherever it leads us. And so we have the Cash App platform available to you guys. We say partner with us for $5 US. That's 1,000 Ghana dollars. 1,000 Ghana dollars per month. $10 US. $15 US. $20 US monthly. If you want to go higher, we welcome it. But on the Cash App platform, it's the $ in the ring 592. It's the $ in the ring 592 at the Cash App. At the PayPal platform, it's in the ring 592 at gmail.com. In the ring 592 at gmail.com. At the MMG, that's our local Cash App. MMG, you can get us on 627-6963, 627-6963. Any queries you have, any guidance you need, you have a news tip, you have photographs, you have video of something that's happening, you want us to know, WhatsApp us on that number as well, 627-6963. That is our MMG number. We're available on MoneyGram, and we're also available at Western Union. You can WhatsApp us on 627-6963 for any additional guidance that you may need. And that's our housekeeping for this evening, guys. Great to have so many of you still in the ring with us. And let me make sure I give some of you a shout out. It's our privilege to have you guys every night with us. Tomorrow is Ali's big speech before the UN, and he better come good. We know, again, from inside sources, he's going to be up all night watching his pronunciations, watching his enunciations, and he better don't embarrass me again. He got to give an Obama speech to come back from this epic blunder today. And of course, again, we're recommending this book for him, English Pronunciation Made Simple. We're recommending this simple book for him, English Pronunciation Made Simple. And we again learn from inside sources. They're going to be up late, going through that presentation word by word, line by line. They need to do that. They need to do that and stop embarrassing me. I tired of embarrassment under the PPPC. I am tired. If you can't do the work, go about your business. Go about your business. Not so Desi Smart Felix and Polly and Court, Ebon Lamy, all of you fantastic folks who have stuck with us just for a little more than an hour this evening. Fight and flight time. Farouk Haq, good to see you, Farouk. Sorry about I couldn't take your question, but thanks for joining us nonetheless. Farouk Haq, George Mars, and again, Polly and Court, and all you fantastic folks. Let me see who else we have on with us. Alex McBean. I see it's Michelle Solomon there, Rhonda Squires and Sandrine Baird, Kim Westmoreland, my pal, good to see you. Kim, good to see you. Shanette. Yes, we know they can read, but I got to spend some time getting it right. Karen Fresco, great to see you as well. Karen, Amanda Daniels. I see Candy Naleen. Inderjeet is with us. Good to see you, Candy. Thanks for being here with us this evening. Joylyn Cook is here with us. Karen Fresco, Kim King, all you fantastic folks. Great to see you guys. Andrew Cuthbert, come on down. Good to see you, Andrew and Winston, Bob, Morna Monroe. Is it Miss Roberts? Is it the name has gone by? I see Marcia is there too. Teresa Gills, Teresa. Good to see you, Teresa. Great to see you, as a matter of fact. Franklin Rodney, great to see you as well. Denise Williams and Destiny. Gaius Griffith. Good to see you, Tyrone Peters as well. Claire Alexis Richmond. Fantastic to see you there, Claire. Folks, as you go, remember to share the live stream. Those of you who are going to be coming back to watch us later, share the live stream as well and come partner with us, folks. We need you. We need you guys to come on board and help us. You all see these folks that we're fighting? They're not easy, and we can't do it on water alone. We can't do it on water alone. So we invite you guys to come on board and help us. Great to see each and every one of you. And guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining the live broadcast this evening. As you go, again, share, retweet, subscribe if you're joining us via YouTube, retweet if you're joining us via Twitter, follow our page. Take the time to follow our page. And folks, I'm available on all of the social media platforms, on Twitter, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, all the social media platforms. Look for me at Shara Duncan, and I'd be happy to touch base with you on those social media platforms. Guys, thanks for joining us this evening. Thanks for joining us from around the world. Good to see all of you guys there. I see Roseanne Princess is still with us. I see, is it? I want to know how to pronounce this name. ICYNE. Send me a little voice note now. 6276963. Is it INC? Help me with the pronunciation of that name. Please and thank you. Jazzy, Janice, Ines. Thank you for joining us. I see Dion Benjamin is here as well. I see Sean Singh. Again, Irfaan is before the UN General Assembly tomorrow. We're going to be breaking it down at 8 o'clock. Please join us. Folks, thanks for joining us this evening. Marcia Eargard, Jackie Baird, Sean Singh. I see Guys Griffith is still with us, and all you wonderful folks. Joylyn Cook, Chanel Smith Daniels. We're going to be breaking it down right here tomorrow night. Thanks for joining us, folks. Do stay safe as you go. Remember to social distance, wear your mask, sanitize, practice all the COVID-19 protocols that are in place for your health, your safety, that of your friends, family, and loved ones, and even the trenches and the crosses. Have a great evening, folks. Thanks for joining us.